guys, it's Tanner and Eric here from Team DDD, and we have Eric here, and he's going to talk about his Evil Eye True Draco deck. Why don't you go ahead and tell me about your deck and tell me what you think about it?
I've been playing this deck for a few years now. I've been playing this game since it first came out. I've never found a deck I've liked more than this deck. It's so fun. Nobody ever expects it when you play against them. They don't understand the true power of the Evil Eye.
Toxic.
The Toxic Eye. If you're not familiar with this deck, it's mostly control-based. It uses the Evil Eye engine to just get rid of all your opponent's special summon monsters they have, and then it uses the True Draco engine to get advantage, and that's how you beat over your opponent and control the board from there. It performs really well. I've gone through many iterations of this deck, and I think the version that I have right here is, for right now, for the card pool that we have, as good as this deck can be. I don't think it could get any better than this.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into it then.
Alrighty. So most people watching this are not familiar with the way Evil Eye cards are, so we're going to learn you some knowledge today. So starting off, we have our normal summon Alistair of the deck. Shout out to Brennan. We have Sergil. He is the heart and soul of this deck. What he does is that when he's normal summon, it lets you add an Evil Eye card from your deck to your hand. And what you would always search with that, generally most of the time, is the equip spell for the deck, and Evil Eye of Selene. So what this does is when you equip him to Sergil, he can't be targeted by card effects, he can't be destroyed by battle, and he can't be destroyed by card effects.
Basically a towers.
Yeah, he's just basically, unless you get rid of this, he's not going anywhere. And he has an effect that when he's equipped with Selene, he can target a special summon monster on the field and pop it, and it's a quick effect. And if any Evil Eye card is activated, Selene will activate, pumping him up by 500 attack points every time it's activated. Mm-hmm. So he can get beefy. So just amazingly strong at that. And some more Evil Eye cards that we play in the deck. Another card you can search with him is Evil Eye Retribution, which is a counter trap against spells and trap cards. It doesn't do monster effects. I wish it did. I would play this card at 3 if it did monster effects. But essentially, while you control an Evil Eye monster, when your opponent activates a spell or trap, you negate it. Then if you control Evil Eye of Selene in your spell and trap card zone, they can't respond to it. So
this came up a lot. Twin Twisters came against me with Red Reboot once. Red Reboot getting negated and not responding to.
Yeah, nice Red Reboot. And then it wouldn't be a good archetype if it didn't have the field spell. So when this is activated, you can add any Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand, but surprise, we only play one Evil Eye monster in this deck, which is Sergil, so you're always going to be searching him. So the amount of search power that this deck has is crazy. So you activate the field spell, add him, normal summon him, add the equip spell, or add the trap card. He can search either one of these. Mm-hmm. So this engine right here, all these cards, is amazing. Control engine. So what pairs best with this deck that I have found is the True Draco engine. These cards perform so well with one another. Because another thing about Sergil is that when you activate his effect, during the standby phase of the next turn, you have to pop a card you control. And what pairs so well with that are the True Draco spell and trap cards. So if you have to go to your standby phase and pop one of your own cards, you just pop a True Draco trap or spell, and then you'll just plus off it by popping your opponent's cards too. So
yeah, traps pops monsters, and then the spell cards pop spell and trap cards.
Yep. And that's how we'll control the game. So for the True Draco engine, it's pretty short on the monsters. We just play 3 Ignis Heat and 1 Dynamite Knight. Don't play Majesty Maiden for the simple fact that we're playing such a small True Draco monster engine. If Dynamite Knight was at 2, we would do 2 and 2, but unfortunately we only have access to 1 Dynamite Knight. Hopefully that will change soon.
Can dream.
I mean, the dream is masterpiece, but we'll settle with the second Dynamite Knight, I guess. So that's it for those. And then for the spells, we play 2 Heritage and 2 Draco Phoenix. Definitely don't need to do 3 and 3. That's too much, and I think 1 and 1 is not enough for this particular build. I was playing a few builds that only played 1 and 1 of each of these, but with the current build that I have, I think 2 and 2 is perfect.
And it helps with our control-based meta we usually have.
Yeah, there's a lot more back row now in this meta, so 2 and 2 is good because you want to have more pops with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the busted card is busted. This card is one of the best field spells in the game. It just gets you go +1, +2. It's just ridiculous. We all know what Diagram does. It's the reason why it's limited. And then for the traps, we only play 3, just 1 Return and 2 Apocalypse. I think this is the good ratio for this build because since I'm playing 2 Disciples, I can just recycle them back over and over again. Mm-hmm. This card went back up to more than 1, but I still think 1 is all you would play. I don't think it's necessary more than that. You can do really busted shenanigans, damage steps up with this. You can pop their cards and they can't respond to it most of the time.
Or lower their attacks.
Yep. So that's it for the True Draco part of it. And we're going to move on to just basically the generic stuff in the deck. Another card that is amazing in this is Golden Lord. Golden Lord pairs so well with the True Draco engine because if this is activated on the field, if Golden Lord's in the grave, you can just send this to the grave and special summon him, and then you get a monster pop. And then you get a 3,500 monster that just can't be targeted, or
and
not targeted, destroyed by card effects.
Helps you go on second, too, because you can send it and your True Draco cards from hand or any spell or trap, which is majority of the deck.
Yeah, you can just be like, Golden Lord, just send that, and it's busted. Golden Lord's a good card. Then we have the draw power of this deck. This deck doesn't special summon at all outside of Golden Lord, and then just the rare occurrence that you use Return. But essentially, you're never going to special summon in this deck because you don't even use the extra deck in this deck. You can play 3 Duality and 3 Extra and a card of Demise. So this right here essentially will never give you a dead opening hand. If you activate Extra and you can still activate Duality because you're not adding cards. Can't activate Demise and Extra in the same turn, but
that will rarely come up because it's a one-off.
Yeah, I mean, if I had these 2 in my hand, I would always activate the Demise over the Extra anyway, because with the amount of back row you play in this deck, you're just going to draw 3 cards. Mm-hmm. So
set your whole hand and draw.
Yep. And then we have the 1 Terraforming. I play 3 different field spells in this deck. I play the Evil Eye field spell, the True Draco field spell, and yes, the 1 Mystic Mind field spell. Because this deck plays so little monsters that you can just sit on Mystic Mind for the majority of the game, and you can just control the advantage from there. And
as long as it's legal.
Right. Now we get to the real reason why this deck is good is because of the floodgates that I play. Lose 1 turn. This card basically should just be lose 1 game because essentially after you activate this and it's going to stick on the field, your opponent is just going to lose.
Oh yeah, if you stick this against combo, can't do anything.
Yep. And lose 1 turn paired with Surzeal equipped with Selene is busted because anything that your opponent summons if you're not familiar with what lose 1 turn does, if you control no special summon monsters, which you're essentially not going to because like I said, you don't really special summon in this deck, any monster that's special summoned is changed to defense mode and its effects are negated for the turn that it's summoned. So the only even if your opponent summons a link monster, it doesn't have to go to defense mode in order for its effect to be negated. So even if your opponent summons a link monster, its effect's still going to be negated for the turn. And then with Surzeal, you can pop that special summon monster that they summon, and it doesn't matter what they summon, even if it can't be targeted, because that effect's going to be negated anyway with lose 1 turn, so you're just going to pop it with Surzeal. So nice Dragoon you got there, fam. And then the other broken card that we play is 3 Summon Limit, because you're never going to summon more than once or twice in this deck in the same turn. If you have summon limit and lose 1 turn on the field, it's GG, homie. You're not getting out of that. And summon limit's just a busted card. Like, there's not much to say about it.
So little decks play backer removal in their main deck now that it's just like you set them and you kind of resolve. Like if you resolve it, there's really no way to out them most of the time. No. You can't get into your links and you can't get into engines, so it's just really good overall.
Yep. And you're just plussing so much with the True Draco and Evil Eye. It's just hard to lose. And then the last 2 cards we play are 2 Dogmatic of Punishment. You do not use your extra deck in this deck outside of Punishment, and it's free real estate. Yeah. So.
The whole extra deck is just Punishment target.
Yep. So that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards exactly. I think it's perfect right now. Wouldn't change a thing. And we're going to move on to the extra deck. Now, the only reason I'm showing you the extra deck is because outside of Punishment, we do play 3 Starlight Road in the side. So we do play 3 Stardust Dragon. Starlight Road is an amazing card for this deck because 4 out of 5 times the only reason you're going to lose is because someone's going to sack you with Twin Twister or Harpy's Feather Duster. So Starlight Road can help alleviate that. So it's Lightning Storm, all that stuff, and you just get a free body, 2,500 body that will also negate another pop that they have. So
basically, it's happened multiple times for me and him. If you resolve Starlight Road when somebody Twin Twisters you, 9 times out of 10 they're not going to break your board and you're going to win that game, just because it stops the negation, or it stops the pop, and then it stops your pop too. So it's really busted.
Yep. And the cool thing about this is that even if you have lose 1 turn on the field and you play Starlight Road, you can special summon Stardust Dragon and he'll get turned to defense mode and his effects negated while he's on the field. But Stardust Dragon tributes himself for cost to activate his effect, and lose 1 turn activates like Skill Drain does. It'll only negate what's on the field, and it doesn't stop monster effects from activating. Mm-hmm. So they can still activate monster effects that are on the field. They're just going to be negated when it resolves. So since Stardust resolves in the graveyard, it gets around lose 1 turn. So that's a good thing. So we play 3 Stardust, and we play 3 of every copy in the extra deck because we play 3 Extrav. So we want to maximize on all the copies, so we want to at least have 1 left in our extra deck. Mm-hmm. Which is the same way with 3 Intus. We play the Punishment, so it gives you extra pop. We want to play 3. You see where the idea is going from. Now, this is an awesome idea that I had, was to play Farrajeet. You can Punishment Farrajeet and send it, and then it'll let you fix your hand. So when Farrajeet's sent to the grave, it lets you draw a card and put 1 back on the bottom of your deck. So Farrajeet is an amazing card in order to be able to dig into your Floodgate cards. That's mostly what you want to see with that. Now, the next card is, I would play 3 Totally Awesome. I just only have 1 at the moment. And the reason why you're going to play Toad, you might think that's a little weird, but Toad, when it's sent to the grave, it lets you add a water monster from grave back to your hand. And guess what Dynamite Knight is? It's a water monster. So you just activate Punishment, send Toad, pop 1 of their cards, and then Toad's effect, you just put Dynamite Knight back in your hand. So you're just recycling the best 2 Draco monster that you have in your
free
deck.
recursion.
Yep. So there should be 3 of those, and then the last 3 cards, because that's 12, will be 1 Omega, 1 of the Fossil Fusion monster, and then 1 at Ignister Wind Pegasus. I just don't have those other 2 cards right now, but those are the last 3 extra deck cards that we would play. And then that's it for the deck. It is an amazing deck. I would honestly have you try it yourself. Build this deck online, play with it, and you'll actually see how good it is. You'd be surprised that you can beat any deck in the meta with this. Like, even if you're playing against Phantom Knights, Virtual World, it doesn't matter what you're playing against. They will underestimate the power of this deck, and you will think twice.
The only thing you lose to is Twin Twisters and Harpy's Feather Duster. That's it.
Yep. Even this deck, you might not even think about it, but this deck is a good going second deck too, because they I've been in a situation where they've had an Appaloosa for 4, and then all it took was, oh, hey, I have a true Draco monster in my hand, and I have a true Draco trap. I just have to set that, send it to the grave, and summon Dynamite Knight, and that's a nice Appaloosa you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Be a shame if this trap card popped it. Boom. So many situations like that. This deck can still compete going second, even though it's a heavy back row deck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much the deck there.
All right. Thank you for giving me that profile. Now, if you guys want to go and like the video and then hit the subscribe button, we're also selling Team DDD merch.
Yep, we got
right there
shirts,
flexing.
we've got stickers, we've got mugs, we've got it all. Anything you want, and we're constantly adding new merch on there. So hit the link in the description, and we hope to get you some good merch there. Welcome Team DDD.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the profile. Tanner and Eric out.
Peace.